Peace, man. Love y'all too, man. Good to be back. First thing I want to say, the Sun in Pisces energy is a lot of shadow stuff, a lot of things that you got to work through, a lot of things that you got to process. Don't run from your problems. Don't escape from your problems. Look your problems dead square in the eye and look at your problems as easy to be defeated, and so is such. So today I wanted to talk about quantum mechanics, quantum physics, quantum entanglement, and bring some sense to it, and also just a solution. This video is an overall solution for like Sun and Pisces energy, where it's a matter of awareness, it's a matter of understanding. And that awareness and understanding is on who you are and what needs to take place. So before I get into anything, since there's people already on here, you got to start with the imagination that you are like this being, and you're translucent, meaning that you exist, but you could be seen through. Now, like a light bulb, so to speak. Now you can light yourself up, but when you light yourself up, you notice that you got a whole bunch of tentacles, right? And the way that you access those tentacles is by illuminating yourself. And you're illuminating yourself by realizing who you are. It's the same way as you ask a shark how to be a shark, and the shark would just say, I just do shark shit. Now, to be an illuminated being, you just got to realize that that's what you are. And so you start with the understanding. And so when you illuminate yourself, you see all of the tentacles. And these tentacles, you giving out energy, and you receiving energy. And there's many different people, many different families, many different bloodlines. So the thing about entanglement is when your energy is dormant, you just seeking validation from people who don't even like you. You trying to get connected to your family. You trying to get connected to your mom and dad, to your friends. You trying to meet somebody on Tinder, right? But you haven't illuminated yourself and realized that you got thousands upon millions upon energy strands that you give energy to, and you receive energy. So what I'm giving is an energy that you can receive to illuminate yourself, to then tap into other energies that you're receiving energy from. But part of this is that you got to give energy away too, right? And so I want to just break down and understand quantum entanglement as a thing that we should just basically know, right? As opposed to you thinking like it's a jamming song by August Alsina. So the basic idea of quantum entanglement is that two particles can be intimately linked to each other, even if separated by billions of light years of space. A change induced in one will affect the other. So the thing about quantum entanglement is that people was hooking up. No matter, in Russia, people hook up. In China, people hook up. In Saudi Arabia, people hook up. Meaning that you could do things right now to make you more attractive, more desirable, or you can do things to make yourself more repulsive. Even if you're in relationships, you can do things to make your relationship grow and become more attractive, or you can do things to make your relationship more repulsive. So you understand that your relationships is not a result of your partner. You want to get in the car? Oh, you don't even want to talk to me. Your relationships is not a result of your partner. Your relationships is a result of you.
You're okay. I'm ready to go play when we get in the car.
So, if you realize that on all levels, so it could be relationship stuff. Or it could be business stuff. Because when you think about your customers don't vibrate to yourself being unilluminated. Like, your customers can't purchase for you, your clients can't find you, your energy streams can't fuck with you if you're in a dormant state. So the first rule of quantum entanglement is that you have to enlighten yourself. You need to activate yourself, and this is just what you are. You're already entangled. You're already in prosperous relationships. You already have a desirable partner. You already make 10 figures a year, right? You already doing all of this. But if that part of you is dormant, then you separate it from it. But the part of you to activate that is reliant on you. And so the problem is we wait for other people to do it for us, but can't nobody activate yourself, right? And if you don't sit and do how do you activate yourself? Through meditation, the dreaded M word, right? But let's continue. So as I'm studying quantum physics, this is just a train of thought. This is like a whole bunch of random, like I had a Google Keep and I just wrote like 6 sentences, like a train of thought. And this is just where I ended up. So in understanding quantum mechanics and quantum physics, I was thinking, well, is that magic? And they say, no, quantum physics is not logical magic, but it is a logical theory. These theories, such as the double slit experiment that says photons act differently based upon whether you're observing them or not. So the photons know to be a tree when you're looking at it. When I close my eyes, the photons say, phew, I can relax now and I can just be my normal state of nothingness because I don't really exist. I only exist because Kyrie is looking at me. So everything in your life thus is a result of what you're observing. If you weren't observing, it wouldn't exist. So if you focus on something that you don't like, it's because you want to look at it. Because as easy as you're looking at it, you can easily not look at it. Fair to say? Mm-hmm. So generally, to get into a point where you look at things that are in reference to where you want to be will almost naturally put you in that space. The trick, though, is that you become envious and jealous of those people that you want to be like. And so you shun those people away, and then you look for people that you can look down on, laugh at, and say, look at Lil Nas X being the person that he is being. That means I'm better than him because I don't twerk for an imaginary CGI person. I don't even twerk at all. I have no twerk skills at all. Maybe that's why. Never mind. I'm going to keep going forward. So the double slit experiment says whatever you look at only exists because you're looking at it. Okay. Entanglement. Spooky action at a distance is Einstein referring to it. So generally, if you feel within your DNA subconscious being that you're not going to manifest a partner, then you'll live in that shit. But if you know within your DNA without a shadow of a doubt that your partner exists, you don't have to manifest it. You don't have to wish for it. The same way you don't have to manifest or wish for your hand. Thus, you understand the usage of his hand, so you value your hand, you take care of your hand. Sometimes y'all want y'all hands to be y'all foot, meaning that y'all want y'all mans to be y'all bitches. But a man is not a bitch, a man is a man. So ultimately, you say, well, I don't like that. That's disrespectful to your boyfriend. Because the same way as you don't like something, he wouldn't like to wear lipstick, but you perfectly fine with wearing lipstick. But he wouldn't like that.
And perfectly fine touching him with lipstick on.
And you would, exactly, but you wouldn't like him if he put on lipstick. Like and unlike are the same thing. When you talk about relationships, you're more talking about respect or gratitude, right? What would you be grateful for when you're in a relationship? You would be so fucking grateful that you were able to get through all of the entanglements, right? Because literally, it's billions of years of light years that me and my wife have to fight through to get to a point where we find each other. Thus, we should be able to exist in a space of eternal bliss and happiness and joy. Or else, you need to seek that other places. Because that's what entanglement looks like. It's spooky action at a distance, meaning that it should be something that you work toward and you manifest it from a long space away. But if you don't feel like, well, first of all, the energy is billion light years away. So of course you naturally don't see it. you naturally don't see it if you don't see it, but you can affirm to say, just because I don't see my divine partner don't mean that my divine partner don't exist. Thus, if I just stay in a space where my divine partner is true, and sometimes you even meet your divine partner, it just so happened that she's married, or just so happened that he's married, right? And that's where you get into societal things and that, and whatever, however it looks. But sometimes you know who your partner is, and that's where you get into the area of Jada Pinkett and August Alsina, right? She knew that was her long lost lover, right? And when she seen him, she said, oh, it's not right, but I want him to slide through. So he might have came around for months at a time, but the whole time, both parties knew that they was going to get in some internal guts, right? So if we understand that, we know that everything in our life is everything. Even when we don't experience it, even when a person is married. Because generally a person like August Alsina say, well, Jada, you married to Will Smith. Now, just because I'm obsessed with you or my posters and my wall, that don't mean that I'm going to have sex with you because you married, right? But obviously, the fact that they was married didn't stop the fact that they got entangled, because entanglement already happened. It already exists, right? It is more magical in the context of classical Newtonian physics, where it just is what it is. The physical reality is all that we see. But when you deal with the quantum reality, which is an actual fact, there's many different experiments that say that, okay, the photon is going to act a specific way based upon the observers, what the person is looking at. Right? So if it's a certain knowing that comes in having a relationship, that the same thing you could try to attempt to have it, and a girl can look good as hell. Dude could be perfect, right? But that feeling ain't there. That vibration ain't there. That sense of entanglement is not there. And when the relationship ends, you don't cry about it. But when you entangle with a personal energy, you do a full CNN special about it, right? Red table talk. How many times have you seen a husband and wife talk about the time that the wife done cheated on the husband? That's an entanglement. Because entanglements defy physics, defy logic. So within your relationships, within your paradigm, so I'm going to use a trading analogy. Sometimes the trading, it goes upon a trend line. But then sometimes the trades break that trend line. And when the trades break that trend line, it's over. It really break the trend line. It's either going to go up real crazy or down real crazy, because the trend line is what keeps this shit together. Your morals, your understanding is what keeps physics together. But when you get into quantum entanglement, then you got to actually be able to step out of morals. Because you don't think Will Smith had some entanglements along the way? Obviously he did. So let's deal with it further. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So when we think about magic and its ability to be real or fake, or whether it's going to work or not work, right? If we look at the life as, all right, what this nigga Hood is talking about in reference to working with intentions and stuff like that, I hear what he's saying, but that won't work for me. And that's crazy, because I actually send products out to people every day, right? That they doing their own shit with the herbs. They doing their own shit with the resins in the cauldron. But they are doing shit. I just heard somebody say something like, oh, if I do some shit, it'll be back there. Like, damn, I didn't even know you was doing shit. Meaning that you can meet somebody, right? And you thinking like, damn, this is some random ass shit. They did full magical initiation ritual spells on your ass. Binded you, sealed you up for good. What you think, right? So say, for instance, you meet somebody and they do everything that you want. And then 10 years later, you realize like, damn, I'm caught up into some shit. it might seem like doing spells on a person is fake, but that's because the person who's doing it don't think that they doing it for real. I know that everybody don't listen to my videos, tell me that they listen to my videos, but when I go to the spots that I mention on my videos, them shits be like traffic jams all of a sudden, and I'm like, damn. I see y'all picking up on the sauce and things of that nature. But the thing about this spiritual shit, if you want to be successful in the spiritual community, don't ever think like mine. My ancestors told me some shit to make me better than you. People will be like, I have to take a hiatus. I don't need to take hiatuses because I'm not the individual for the spiritual shit. I'm the channel for the shit. It's not me. It's not my information. I'm pure in that shit. So when I hear other people thus be confused about the sun in Pisces, it's like, you got to deal with astrology for real. That's technology. That's not magic. And I tell people, stop fucking with that Western astrology shit. Because if you thought the sun was in Aries and you said, oh, the sun is in Aries, let me start something without doing the shadow work, without doing the clearing work, without doing the emotional work, without doing the preparation work. You just looked up today and decided, oh, there's a new moon in Aries. It's time to start some shit. How's that project going? How's your intentions going? Why are you waking up crying? Why are you waking up sad? Why do you refuse to do shadow work? Why do you refuse to have a self-inventory about the spaces where you fucked up at? The times where you was not accountable, and then how the fuck can you begin to do better? But do better in what? Be better at a spiritual beingness. Because your spiritual beingness is advanced technology. I'm talking about, there's no way that you're doing rituals, going to the offering. See, the thing is, you can do that, though, and not get no results because you turn that shit into robotic church on Sunday. When you do an initiation or a ritual, you got to think about it in a space where you got to be so grateful for the experience. You got to know for a fact that I'm offering this goddamn liquor to these ancestors. I know for a fact I'm going to hit this goddamn lottery. If you hoping and wishing that you're going to hit the lottery, forget about it. It got to be technological, because if you do it to a point where you gambling, then it's not going to be nothing unless it don't matter. I want you to be so sure when you do your magic. I want you to be so sure when you do your intentions. It'll be the same thing as cutting the power on for your computer. You don't cut the computer on like, hold on, let me do these initiations and rituals and offerings and do it and spin around 3 times before my computer come on. No, you just hit a button. So fuck the aesthetics, fuck the hard work when it comes to getting to this magical bag. Fuck all of that shit. Don't tell me what I need to do, what I don't need to do. First thing that I need to do is activate myself and turn myself on, right? Because the first part is turning yourself on. There's a 7-step process to turn yourself on. They've talked about it in the Bible. They talk about it in Hindu mythology. They talk about it in the Quran. In any religious text you find, they'll talk about the fucking chakras. Why is that so important? Because that's how you turn your light body on. Why is your light body so important? Because it shows you where your entanglements lie. Why is this important? Because if you separate it from shit, now you trying to make it out here in these streets. And when you try, you repelling that shit. You ever tried to do some shit and it don't work out, then say fuck it, and then that shit knock out your door? Because when you, law of attraction is real. Even to the point you got to get into atomic repulsion. What is atomic repulsion? As much as I touch my wife, I never even touched my wife before. I've only imagined what it feels like to touch my wife. I can only process in my mind what it feels like to touch my wife. Because I might touch my wife and feel like she feel like silk. And you might touch her and she might feel like satin. Right? But I've never felt satin. So I only think that she feel like silk. But since you touch silk and satin, you might touch her and be like, damn, you feel exactly like satin. And I'll be like, well, damn, I thought she felt like silk. And you're like, no, you must ain't feel satin. She feel just like satin. And then you show me satin. And then y'all like, why is y'all touching his wife like this? Like, because she's soft. She's soft. But getting to the point of even what you desire. If somebody gives you the best sex in your life, you didn't actually experience it nowhere but in your mind. So what's stopping you from experiencing the best sex of your life right now? Your belief, your technology, your technique, your art, your craft. This is called the craft. Meaning that you can't wake up today and call yourself a witch because that's your Insta name, right? And bitches say, well, you look good and you got a whole bunch of tattoos, so you must have magical powers. You might have magical powers, but I can't just judge you off your tattoos and your good looks and your Instagram followers. I need to know your fucking technique. I need to know your craft. I mean, how many times have you went to a fucking pizza shop and a person said, this is my first day making pizzas. I never made pizzas before. You wouldn't eat that fucking pizza. You wouldn't even buy a pizza. You might buy a pizza for a cute girl, but you wouldn't eat it. You wouldn't like it. So when you think about your magic, the hard part, the thing that's going to be hard for motherfuckers is that you got to spend time and understand how your motherfucking magic work. Right? If you don't understand how your magic work, you following somebody else's magic, and now you wondering why you keep running into the same walls. Because these people is telling you that this magic shit is hocus pocus, and they hitting you with the mumbo jumbo, but they not hitting you with the technical knowledge of it. Listen, it's offerings for each direction. You get your petitions in, you get your initiations in, and then you close them motherfucking gates and you go about your day. That's technology. If you ain't never done it, don't tell me that it don't work. But if you look at every fucking magical book there is, they'll tell you the same shit that I'm telling you. You gotta appease the gates. Now, a motherfucker say, you don't gotta appease the gates. Well, go to his pizza shop and he say, you don't need to use crust. You don't need to use goddamn pizza sauce. You don't need to use pepperoni. I'ma just do whatever I want to do on this pizza. I don't give a fuck what you do. I'm a fucking goddess. I got initiated. You see, you hear how motherfucking stupid people sound when they talk about who their mentors is and who taught them and this, that, and the third? No, nigga, what's your technique? What's your technique? Listen, it's the 4 elements. Everything that you do in this magical plane, it exists on these 4 elements. Because if you don't have physicality, then fuck it. Forget about it. I'm not about to sit and hotbox with you and talk about all the spiritual hot shit that you pondering about. We need a physical reality for which we're going to manifest a business, an idea, a house, a threesome. What did I say? What the fuck wrong with me? It's just damn tea. But we need a concrete idea. So don't get into my DMs like, Hood, I really like you. I really like you too, but we ain't got shit to talk about. I need something physical, right? But physical ain't enough, because you can be the baddest girl on Instagram. If I can't, play the latest Umi joints and you can't vibe to Umi with me, I'm going to look at you differently. If you start playing the baby, we can't fuck around. And you could look so good. You could look so fine. But if you start cutting on the baby, listen, I done had girls that I had to stop fucking with because of their musical selection. You ever had a beautiful girl don't listen to nothing but hardcore trap music? That shit make you feel uncomfortable. Like, listen, like, imagine you with a beautiful girl and you cut on some R&B and she say, nigga, you better cut this soft shit off. Girl, it's 10 o'clock at night. We on our way to the crib. You want to cut on some goddamn Looney Coleon. Exactly. That's how I felt. Who? Seriously? It's Looney Coleon. I'm like, okay. It's one of them type of nights. we might rob somebody tonight. We ain't about to make no love. You know what I'm saying? Different points. So how to change the world? It don't take a lot of us. It take 1%. And if it's just you, it only take you. But you got to be serious about your meditation. You got to understand the technique of it. You got to put your ego to the side and tune into your soul at least once a day. Or else you're not powering up your light body. Fair to say? You got to take your ego off for a second and tune to your light body. Your light body is translucent, but it needs to be activated by energy, awareness, acknowledgement, honor. And it's cool if you can do it by yourself, but you got to do it with other people. And that's where the entanglement part come on. If you want to have sex, just say you want to have sex. Because we not about to be meditating and you wanting to have sex and you not getting your rocks off. You can get your fucking rocks off if you want your rocks off, but do not fuck around. If you got an entanglement, you got an entanglement. The easiest process is say, look, I want to have sex. All right, let's get to know each other and take our time in getting to know each other and grow into that. You might decide that you really don't want to have sex. 10 times out of 10, you decide, like, I really don't want to have sex. I was being impulsive. See, this is the problem with impulsiveness. It'll have you in situations that you don't really want to be in. And the reality is all you had to do is meditate to change your reality. You didn't have to go and get it and grab it. Because say, for instance, all you want to do is have sex with a person. Tell them that you want to have sex with them. And if they say no, then that's good. Because at least you weren't wasting time and energy. But in the reference of having sex, you just have to allow that part of your body to come into alignment with your reality. Because 10 times out of 10, if you want to have sex and you're not having sex, you're blocking that part of your life. Either by not taking care of yourself, not doing the spiritual bath, not doing the womb work, not doing the urethra work, men not doing the sexy work. All men can be sexy. You got to do the mantra work. You got to tell yourself that you're beautiful, baby. You can't be out here believing stereotypes. What is this a result of? I got to do mantra work. You are beautiful, Kyrie. You are beautiful. Who else? Listen, it was many times people called me ugly every day, all day. So the only defense that I had was that I had to tell myself that I was beautiful. The thing is, when you start telling yourself, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm accomplished, you went out against the people who told you that you wasn't going to be. Because the times when they stop telling you that you ugly or they stop telling you that you ain't going to be shit, you can step right back in with, I'm beautiful, I'm accomplished, I'm going to achieve my dreams, so forth and so on. Even more so, you don't even got to say it. All you got to do is move your ego to the side and realize that you are part of the same thing. Listen, the universe is simple. One song. One song. The different thing about a song, you got a bass player, you got a guitar player, you got a drummer, you got an arranger, you got an engineer, you got a fucking light designer, you got a photographer. You ever look at the liners of a song? AR, editor. You got all types of shit that have to do with one song. Your favorite song ain't related to the particular artist more than it might be related to the line producer, the person who came up with the snares, because the snares is what make the whole song. Right? So if the snares ain't there, people don't even like the song don't even make the album. You don't even hear the song. I say all of this to say life is just but one song. What are you playing? Are you playing the bass? You playing the guitar? See, if you feel like you're not having the actual role, then you're not separate. That means you don't have a role because your machine is not cut on. How do you cut on your machine? Through meditating. You'll change the world. Simple shit. So this is the reality. The reality is Maya. Maya is an illusion that we've cast into. The reality is that you're male and female and you're bonded. Souls incarnate down here as masculine energy and feminine energy, and me and my wife always been together. We never was separated. But when you cast down into Maya an illusion, you have that reality. That's why in the realm of quantum physics, just the mere thought of her, past, present, and future would exist in this present moment. But the reality of us being together is the result of meditation and activating our light bodies individually and becoming the magnetizing force, which is our actual life that we're living in. However, when you look at the world, now, as we said earlier, the double slit experiment, you can Google it. You might Google it and read it. You might not understand it. So let me explain it. When you look at something, it reacts a certain way. Now, the reason that it acts a certain way is because of a particular spell called Maya. And this is a spell of illusion or duality. The split can either be a wave or a frequency. depending on if it's observed. If it's observed, then it becomes a wave. If it's not observed, it's a frequency. It's just stagnant energy. That means that once you get in behind this, you can then manipulate what it is that you want to see. So if you feel the love within your being, within your spirit, and you know that you have a divine partner, you can just begin to say, I want to see you now. Show up. I'm tired of playing hide and seek. Show up. Wave or particle. Thank you, Jabri. So it's deciding. So let me rephrase that. When I'm not looking at this tree is a wave of energy. It's a variable energy depending on whether I decide to come back to the park or not. But until I come to the park, it's just a wave. But now when I'm at the park, it's now that atom has transformed into a particle and it exists as a tree. But when you do science, Jabri, am I lying or not? When you do science on matter, they say matter is not static. Actually, it's just dense and it's moving at a particular rate. But it's actually empty space. Meaning that your whole world is an illusion based upon the fact that you believe it to be a duality, but that's on or off. And it's true. When you're off, the computer don't work. And the person might say, well, I took such and such class. I got a reading from such and such. I did this from this and I did that from that. So if you did that from that, but your energy's still off, it don't matter what you do. Now, if a person does the chakra work and activates their light body, then the person say, well, I don't do none of that shit. I don't get readings. I'm living my dreams. I'm doing all of the cool shit that I ever wanted to do. And my friend just joined the live. I'm referencing him. He ain't got to do he can do the meditation and visualization and initiation, but sometimes you already do that. And when you already do that, now you in the space of actual manifestation and living outside of Maya, you realize that all of these things that you've seen as a kid was setups for you. You'd be so astounded and so amazed how your life turned when you activate yourself. Right? So what's the problem? You look at the physical world as if it's the real world. It is, and the real world is filled with duality. But you are not duality. Especially when you work through your particular entanglements. It's like untying the knots. So Maya means trickery, fraud, deceit, magic, jugglery, or witchcraft are all different forms of illusion that distract or deceive the senses. The senses have the limited ability to perceive and discern truth. No matter what you hear, see, think, process is only limited to the actual truth. In order to get to the truth, you got to get underneath the surface. So to get underneath the surface, you got to deal with the non-physical world. This is where it gets into opening up those gates, doing those initiations, going out into nature, microdosing. Whatever you do to tap in, baby, you tapping the fuck in, and that's all that matters. If you ain't doing shit to tap in, you talking about I got money, I look good, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Well, you ain't opening up the door to experience your best life yet. Because if you wanted to get money, you ain't even have to wake yourself up. You could have went to goddamn 7-Eleven and worked 2 jobs. If you just wanted money. Obviously, it's talking about looking deeper into the crevices and learning how to create your reality, because your reality is a result of quantum mechanics. But it's like, who gets to do it and who doesn't get to do it? Do you have to get money to activate your quantum mechanics? No, you just got to look deeper. And that's why during the sun in Pisces, this is a valuable time to be your best, most successful self, unless you want to look at your trauma, your emotions, your negativity, and let them rule your world. But look deeper into them and look on the other side, and you will see true activation. Although we take them for granted and rely more on the appearance of things rather than the truth underlying them, in spiritual parlance, Maya means unreality, distinct from the reality represented by God. So everything that we see is not of God. It's the opposite of God. God is not physical. God is non-physical. God operates beyond the speed of light. And this is why photons will act differently based upon observance, and scientists can't figure it out because science says the fastest unit of measure is light. But obviously, when they do the photon test and the double slit experiments, light is a misnomer. So sorcery, in the etymology, is called witchcraft, magic, enchantment, active instance of sorcery, supernatural state of affairs, seemingly magical works. From Old French sorcerer, sorcerer, or sorcerer, or wizard. Teller of fortunes by lot, sorcerer, literally one who influences fate or fortune. So I want y'all to look at this word, and I want y'all to look at it real good. Because we're not talking about sorcery in the space where it's evil or negative. We're talking about source. Like, so put that U in there. So you got S. I'm going to put it in the chat so we can bear witness to what it's about. So we can get out of this illusion and Maya. You see that? I'm going to pin it so we can all see it and bear witness. This is the new shit going into 2021. When they say, huh? It's straight sorcery out here, bro, right? You take the source energy, because that's what you are, and you do magic, you do enchantments, you act, right? You act from this perspective, from this awareness. You activate your light body and you do sorcery. Now, if you feel like it's evil to do sorcery, cut the video off, because we're not doing sorcery like they say what you read it. We doing the sorcery like it's pinned in the comments. True sorcery. We taking source energy and we creating our reality. Yeah, get in the car. Here I come. Everything that you see created is a result of source energy. So everything that you want to create, your body, right? You had a little baby body. That little baby body done grew bigger and bigger over time. The substance for which your baby body has grown was source energy, which you're a result of sorcery, whether you know it or not. How the fuck can you get a little baby substance and grow it over time naturally? Well, that's supernatural, right? That's supernatural. So we all are sorcerers. But see, they flip the word and make you think it's evil, and you never get into the real. You won't even find this shit on Google, fam. You won't find this shit on Google. You try to find the etymology for sorcery, you don't get to this. You don't get to the source. So it's real important. It's simple as hell. When a person asks you who you are or what you do, you tell them, I'm a sorcerer. And if they get intrigued, you break down the science to them. Don't scare them. This ain't nothing evil. This is our power. This is who we are. We are source. So the next thing to do is sorcery. If I dance, then I'm a dancer. Sorcerer. Okay, so tell me the next thing to do if you a source. If you pure energy, source energy from the fountain, right? From the head. You're a sorcerer. So if you think that it's evil, you thinking it's mean or nasty, then you're not able to do magic. You ain't not able to develop your technique. Because the person would be like, well, how do I do this? How I do that? That's like asking the Detroit River how to be the Atlantic Ocean. Some things can't be what it is or what it ain't. So if your source is the Detroit River, then be the Detroit River. Come from that. Learn from that. Right? If your source is the Atlantic Ocean, come from that. Be from that. You can find your magic by dealing with the source. Your source of existence. So What is your source of existence? Your source of existence was a non-physical being that entered into a sperm cell. That sperm cell got ejaculated by your father. And then out of billion other sperm cells, your divine partner had a sense that that sperm cell was injected with non-physical source energy. And so she magnetized that sperm cell and said, I'm going to nurture you and care for you and protect you as this source energy grows within my womb. And once this source energy gets to a point after a 9-month incubation period, I'm going to then birth you. And then even further than that, I'm going to continue to nurture and cultivate this seed for larger and more impressive life. Because I'm walking with my son right now. He don't have the same exact thoughts as me. He have a whole completely different thought structure. But if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't exist. So that's amazing to me. But part of it is that I didn't even know that I could do it, because nobody told me that I was source energy, and it's my natural response to procreate. Source energy expands. Source energy wants to reflect upon itself. So when you recognize you source energy and you start awakening them entanglements, it's going to be people that want to make love to you. It's going to be people that want to love you, people that want to sow into your business. People just want to give you money. I just want to give you money. All the spiritual people will tell you that. You could just have a message and you don't even know. You could need $20 for gas, get on Instagram, share a message, and somebody cash app you 50. You like, damn, that's crazy. Because we all entangled out here. And I see the millions of supporters. I know that everybody that watch my video ain't gonna comment. I know you ain't gonna comment, fam. But I know you tapped in, tuned in, and plugged in. We'll work together. Right? We already entangled. There ain't nothing that you can do to stop it. See, the thing of it is, everybody else late to the party, family. The moment that you cut on your machine, you get to see the same things that I see. You can bear witness to the same shit, because we all sorcerers, because we all come from the same source. Period. So, to conclude, among the phenomena it encompasses, we have quantum entanglement, particles that pop in and out of existence, the particle wave duality. Let's turn around. Particles that shapeshift at random, strange states of matter, and even strange matter itself. Quantum mechanics also tells us that we are made up of particles, which means that microscopically, all sorts of strange things are going on within us that aren't perceivable to the human eye, things that sometimes seem to make little sense. So when you get out into the wilderness, when you get out into nature, don't be complaining about some money, fam. I'm telling you. Open up the west portal. Open up the south portal. Open up the north portal. Open up the east portal. But open up the east portal first. East, south, west, north. And then go north, east, southwest, or northwest, southeast to close. But when you open up them portals, have conversations. Get some shit done. Don't just hope and wish, because that's no technique and no art to that. Any nigga can hope and wish for money. But I tell you what make you different when you go out into nature and you say, shit, I'm about to open up this portal and find out where my bag is at. I'm about to get this shit. I got a technique. They don't call it witchcraft or nothing. Right? So witchcraft, the point of this video, witchcraft, magic, intentions are all your natural birthright. And you might ask people, well, how do I do it? Well, how do your hand become a hand? Your hand becomes a hand because of source energy. It takes care of it for you. But if you don't turn on the activation of your awareness that your hand takes care of it for you, you might not even pick up this glass of water and you thirsty. But if you don't know your hand can move and grab a cup of water, you would just keep your hand on the table. So what I'm saying is, in reference to your magical abilities, be aware of them, access them, and don't be like, please, hand, can you move? Just tell your hand to move, get the cup, drink the water. So tell your desires, tell your manifestations, all right, it's time now. Everything's working out in my favor. I ain't fucking with y'all no longer. I'm out in nature with it. Open up them portals. What's happening? I'm here now. I ain't afraid. I'm a sorcerer, right? The next conversation we'll be talking about butterflies. Because I done seen 2 butterflies on this walk. But I'll be sure to tap in again, couple of days, talk about some butterflies, transformation. These next couple of days, I'm gonna finish up this book. Zero Dark 30 is getting turned into the publisher this week. And so, super excited about that. Just wanted to share this message with y'all. Let y'all know the kid is doing all right. Know the Sun and Pisces energy is real tough. So, with that being said, call your mama. Tell her that you love her.